Freddie Little, the 94 of Jim Monroe Jr., the 52 of Tommy O'Connor, and the number 9 of Jim Monroe III, the 10 of Cale Neer, the 56 of Randy Miller, and the 00 of Kim Dool, bringing up the tail. Green is out. We're underway. Green flag flies. We're underway with our Pro Street Stock main event. A little bit of bumper tag off at turn number 2 that time. A couple of cars checking up off the corner, and everybody going to make it away as they come down here to turn number 3 off turn 4. Lap number 1 is now in the books, and Billy Smith will be your leader. Mike Jeske a little out of shape there with the 78 car as they come down to turn number 1. Jeske wiggled a few times off turn number 4, and things got a little wild around him, but he's gathered it back up as the field comes down through 3 and 4. Your leader is Billy Smith with a 41 car. Bill Smith the 4th, up on the front with a 41 car. The Extreme Motorsports entry working off turn number 2. Walt Brodell Jr. rides second, but all eyes right now should be on the 33 of Mike Paquin. Paquin is a man on the move here off of turn number 4. He won his qualifying event earlier tonight. The WillDicker.com Calmy Logging sponsored entry of Mike Paquin now races side by side with point leader Jeremy Pitts. Pitts to the inside, Paquin on the outside. That is a side-by-side battle for third. They'll go door to door up here off of the corner down the front chute. They race down to turn number 1, and Paquin will take sole possession of position number 3. But here comes Pitts right back at him. Good battle back there for third spot. Up on the point is the 41 of Billy Smith. Bill Smith the 4th. Up on the front, the 87 of Walt Brownell rides second. Mike Paquin is 3rd. 4th is Jeremy Pitts. 5th spot is Fast Eddie Thompson. They work down off of turn number 2. We checked the record books a week ago. The last time Mike Paquin went to victory lane was the turn of the century. Back in 2000, he picked up a win. They work down here into turn number 1. Paquin trying to make his way to the front. He gets up to the outside that time and leaves some room down low there for Jeremy Pitts. Paquin back on the gas down the backstretch, trying to run down that lead duo. Billy Smith up on the front of this one, leading him down off the corner. Walt Brownell Jr. riding second. Mike Paquin 3rd. 4th spot is Jeremy Pitts. 5th spot is the 11 of Eddie Thompson as they work down here off the corner. Lori Langevin, 1 spot out of a top 5 run. She sits 6th. 7th spot. Last Friday night's feature event winner, the 14 of Darrell Carl. 8th position, the 000 of Greg McGill. 9th spot is the 23 of Chuck Towsley. And rounding out your top 10 is the Racing Roofer, the 40 of Bobby Schmidt. That is the way your top 10 ride at this juncture, 8 laps into the books. As the field comes down here through turn 3 and 4, the 41 of Billy Smith. Working his way down here into turn number 1. Working down through the corner, the 41 up on the outside now off of turn number 2. The 33 of Mike Paquin loses touch with the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. 10 laps now on the board. 10 laps are in here in this Pro Street Stock feature event. Down into turn number 3, Billy Smith with the Extreme Motorsports number 41 continuing to show the way. The 87 of Walt Brownell Jr. in the runner-up position. 3rd spot is the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. 4th spot, the 33 of Mike Paquin with the 11 of Eddie Thompson completing the top 5. 5 cars in single file fashion. Then it is back to the 6th spot, the 14 of Darrell Carl. Darrell was the feature event winner 1 week ago. He picked up the victory last Friday night. He sits 1 spot out of a top 5 run. He's got the Queen of Speed back there with him. 7th position is where Lori Langevin runs with the Slate Valley Automotive Pinnacle Roofing sponsored entry. Halfway sign has now been met. We are 13 laps into this 25-lap feature event. We start the second half of this event as the 41 of Billy Smith about to feel a bit of pressure down here off of turn number 4. Walt Brownell Jr. trying to turn the heat up with the 87 car. Jeremy Pitts has separated himself from the 33 of Mike Paquin. Paquin now will have to contend with the 11 of Fast Eddie Thompson. Thompson back there in 5th spot, looking at the low line as they come down here into turn number 3. Darrell Carl trying to close in on the top 5 cars. Carl trying to crack the top 5 for the first time here with 15 laps on the board. 10 laps remain for the field here in the Pro Street Stocks. 10 laps to go, 15 on the board. They'll click off 16 this time by as the Extreme Motorsports number 41 of Bill Smith the 4th shows the way down here through turns 1 and 2. Eddie Thompson now got to contend with last Friday night's feature winner Darrell Carl. As Carl works the outside of Thompson, he will crack the top 5 for the first time this evening. So Carl goes to 5th. He is closing in now on Mike Paquin. One problem there is Carl is trying to work the outside. That is where Mike Paquin's car works the best. Carl's going to be forced to change lanes, and he will do so down to turn 3. Question is now, can he hold the car down low? He and Paquin go side by side up here through the corner. Slower car dead ahead, and Mike Paquin's got to take his foot out of it for a moment. That's all Darrell Carl needed to take spot number 4 away. So Carl goes to 4th, Paquin back to 5th. Eddie Thompson trying to take that 5th spot away from Paquin as Fast Eddie tries to claw his way back into the top 5. Laurie Langevin continuing to ride back there at 7th. 8th spot is the 40 of Bob Schmidt. 9th, the 23 of Chuck Towsley. And now Kim Dool has finally cracked the top 10 here as we come up to the 5 to go sign this time by. Your leader off turn 4 sees Rich Peterson's full hand of 5 being held up. 5 laps remaining for the 41 of Bill Smith up on the front of this one. Smitty down the backstretch, got one slowly rolling to a stop in turn 4. That is Mike Jeske, and yellow will come out. So yellow is out. Of course, we ask you to take a look at the billboards over across the way, what we call our family of sponsors. All supporters of racing here on the CVRA, and without their support, we could not put on the program on Friday night. We ask you to keep those folks in mind when you take your business out to the business world. Let them know you appreciate their support of short track racing. You saw their sign here at the Great Race Place. 5 laps to go up on the front for Billy Smith. Smith going to work off at turn number 2 down the backstretch within 5 laps of victory. Walt Brownell rides 2nd. Jeremy Pitts is 3rd. And look out, because here comes Darrell Carl. Carl, winner a week ago. He's got the outside work, and here's Brownell looking to the inside of Smith down the 1. Carl going to work the outside of Pitts. That'll be for 3rd spot. Jeremy Pitts on the inside, Darrell Carl on the outside, and Darrell Carl going to drive it in deeper down to turn number 3. He will not only get Jeremy Pitts, but he'll now get a run on Walt Brownell Jr. Darrell Carl saving something for the end of this one. He is going to work on Walt Brownell Jr. for the runner-up position. He had pulled side to side. He'll do so again in turn number 3. Just 2 laps to go when they hit the stripe this time by. Billy Smith trying to go to victory lane. Darrell Carl trying to go back for the second time in 2 weeks. Carl down to turn number 1. He's got the outside hooked here off the corners. Down off of turn number 2. Keep an eye on Carl. He will drive it deeper into turn number 3. He'll pull up to the outside of Billy Smith. Smith now has seen Darrell Carl out the right side window. White flag flies, and Carl comes down to turn 1. He'll show him a fender once again. Walt Brownell looking at the inside lane. Side by side into turn 3, they're going to go for the final time. They're wheel to wheel. They're door to door off turn 4. Here's the race to checkers. Daryl Carl will do it. Carl gets the victory. Billy Smith loses a heartbreaker at the line. He'll come home second. Walt Brownell Jr. is third. Fourth spot goes to Jeremy Pitts. And rounding out your top 5 is the 96 of Lori Langevin. That is your top 5 as Daryl Carl picks up the victory. His second win in as many weeks. He salutes Billy Smith down here. A good clean race up on the front. As they come back down into the pit area, Daryl will make his way down into victory lane down behind.